Hello everyone, well, welcome to another Java programming video. This time we're doing a little bit of a different problem. I'm going to teach you two new cool methods that we can use in Java, but let's read the problem first. You are to create a program that determines how many paint cans we would need. Each plank of the fence requires one paint can, and your supplier only sells paint cans by the dozens in a box, so there's 12 of them for $14.95. There are three fence sections, and their length will be denoted by a series of F inputted by the user. And we are to output how many cans you would need, how many cans you might have left over, and how much the total project would cost. So if we look at our sample input, the first side of our fence section required had two planks need to be painted. So we have two Fs. We have 4 planks on the second one, and we have 6 planks on the third one. If we total that up and do some processing, we're to get the output of we need 12 paint cans needed. There were 0 left over because we have to buy our paint cans in boxes, and it only costs us $14.95. And what we want is that we want to create a program that can handle any type of Fs entered for these 3 sections by 3 separate inputs and output the correct number of paints needed, how many we have left over, and what our total cost for this project would be. So just like how we start all of our Java program so far, this is our starter. We have our scanner imported, we have created our scanner object, and at the very end we have closed the scanner for avoiding any issues later on. So here we go. We need 3 inputs that are type strings that are going to be series of F's inputted by the user. So we're going to say system.out.println, enter section 1, let's say. And we're going to have a string. We're going to say F1 is for fence 1. It's going to be equal to sc.next line, semicolon, little comment here. Let F1 be the first fence section. And then we're going to copy this and do it 2 more times because we have 2 more painted sections. I'm going to change that to F2 and F3, section 2, section 3. Ignore this. I accidentally clicked run. And this is going to be the second. And this is going to be the third. So we have our fence section ready. I have F1, F2, and F3. And the user is going to be inputting series of Fs. Now, how can we determine from a string that has a bunch of characters of Fs, in this case, hopefully only Fs, how can we determine how many we have? This is where the method called .length come into play for string class object. And let's just see how that works. We can say the double amount of, let's say, planks is equal to f1.length plus f2.length and f3.length. Basically, the concept is if I have f1 to be ff, it's just going to count how many characters we have. In this case, we are assuming that we're always going to have only f-based characters. Later on in the future of our programming journey, you will learn how to just only count the f's in your string. But for now, we're allowed to assume on this basic level of programming that the user is only going to input series of f's. So therefore, for each input that we have, if we get the length of the said string, we'll be able to determine how many planks each section have, and we have totaled it all up and added them all together in a variable called planks. So this would be the amount of paint cans needed. Okay. Now we need to determine how many boxes we need, so we're going to go double boxes. Okay. And we're going to boxes, and we're going to say that this is equal to, we're going to take the number of planks that we have and divide that by 12. Right? We have, oops, we forgot brackets here. Right? We have added up all our planks. We have FF, and 6 Fs here. That would be 12. For 12 planks, I only need 1 box because each box contains 12 paint cans. And I want you to recall that for this problem, each plank required a single paint can. So depending on the number of planks that we got, if we divide it by 12, that's the number of boxes we need. But the problem that we can potentially run into is, well, we can't buy partial amount of boxes. If I divide something by 12, that is not nicely divisible by 12. I can't just buy partial. I should be buying just a little bit more than what we need. Therefore, to handle that, we're going to use a cool method from the math class that we don't need to import, which is called math.ceil. What ceil is going to do is, after a division, or take really any number that's decimal base and always round up. So I'm going to make a little note here. Math.ceil rounds up any number given in its argument. And let's just write that on the bottom like so. And don't forget to put a semicolon right here. And let's write a little note for dot length. Dot length is a method for a string that counts the number of characters. Okay, so that's how we can get the number of characters in a string and round up any decimal numbers to the nearest whole number. Okay, so we have calculated the number of planks we need, which is equivalent to the number of paint cans we need. We have calculated the number of boxes we need, so we can now calculate the leftover. So the leftover can be calculated as, we have 12 times the number of boxes subtracted by the planks that we have, and that will give us the number of paint cans left over. For example, if I have to paint, let's say 14 planks, I can't be satisfied with just buying one box because I only have 12 paints of cans. So I would end up buying 24. I would end up having 24 cans because I bought 2 boxes. So I would do 24 minus 14, and we would have 10 boxes, 10 planks. 10 paint cans left over. So our leftovers have been calculated, and then our double, we can do total cost is equal to, well, one box costs $14.95. We just have to multiply that by the variable that contains the number of boxes, like so. And those are all of our calculations. Then we can say system.out.println. We can say paint cans needed is equal to plus planks, because that is equivalent to number of paint cans we need. System.out.println. We can say leftovers, that is equal to leftover variable. And then we can do system.out.println. We can have the total cost as total cost variable, and that is our program. And let me just go into our settings here, just so we can just zoom out a little bit, like so. All right, starting from the top, we have three lines of inputs happening to get our section 1, section 2, section 3 as series of Fs. We use the dot length method to calculate how many fence planks we have in each section. Then we took all those sum up, divided it by 12, and rounded up to get the number of boxes. And then we multiply the said number of boxes and minus the number of paint cans we needed to see how many leftovers we had. And then we multiply the number of boxes we had with $14.95 to get the total cost. So let's look at a sample execution. So we're going to go test with our sample input here. So we're going to do 2 Fs, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to have 12. So it's going to say that we need 12 cans needed. There were 0 left over, and our total cost was $14.95. So let's try another run in this scenario where it's not going to work out so nicely. For this fence setting here, we're going to go 5 on each side. So we're going to have, I guess we're going to go 14, so 5 on each side with 4 on one side. So we're going to need 14 paint cans. So we have 14 paint cans. We have 10 left over because we had to buy an extra box just to cover the 2 extra planks that we needed to paint, and the cost ended up becoming $29.90. Okay, So that was that. We learned how to use a dot length method and math.ceil method to help us in our code. The dot length counts the number of characters in a string, and math.ceil would take any decimal base number and round it up to its nearest whole number, always, no matter what the decimal point was. Regardless, thank you for always watching and working so hard, and stay classy.